Good morning, men. Can you hear me? Good. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your day has begun well so far and remains for the rest of the day. In my busyness around this morning, didn't even, only briefly looked, oh, nice sunny day, nice blue sky. So I'm sure your 5-year-old is going, okay, let's get this over with because I want to go out and play. And as you should, we should play. Sometimes even myself, too much worry, too serious. Life's so short. Please enjoy. So I hope it is an enjoyable day and that you are already fantasizing how you will play and bring happiness and joy into this world. Tomorrow is Sojong. So in Asia, it's already, in the Buddhist community there's already Sojong. So we will do the Sojong practice today. A little bit lengthy. I sort of feel it's necessary. Again, when I say lengthy, again, this is the short, medium way, we'll say. But anyway, so being that the day is Sojong, take a breath in, please. Releasing out, settling onto our seat. Breathing in. Releasing attachment to this samsaric existence. Release. And breathe in. And releasing into the innate calm, abiding, and clarity within. So resting in the primordial innate quality of calm, abiding, and clarity. And resting in calm, abiding, and clarity, then one is able to perhaps take a step back and see the swirl and the turn of the world and all of its absurdity and madness, which is part of the samsara. But maybe it is also the clown's amusement, is not to worry so much about the absurdities of the world as it turns. But like the fool on the hill in the famous songs, is to rest under an elm tree looking out over the valley and laugh, knowing how brief it will be. It is as though the universe is maybe playing some joke on thee. But we take part in the merriment of the universal joke and dance about, and others will look at us and go, look at that fool, just lazing about. Sometimes maybe it is best just to be a fool. In the Shakespearean plays or in all storytelling, who is it that can tell the king, you have food between your teeth and your hair is a mess today? And really, there's a big mole, or you have some pimple that doesn't seem to go away. Who could say this without losing their head? It is the fool who could say these things to the king and not be afraid. Why? Because the fool also is very wise and understands the nature of the king, so he does not go awry. So the fool must be wise, don't you think? Because the fool is the one who can tell the king the truth and not lose his or her head and lounge about another day and not be afraid of the absurdities and the madness of the world in which they live. Maybe I can say I am like that fool. Perhaps you are like that fool also. So dance in this life and enjoy it with merriment and passion and kindness and basic goodness. The thought I've been thinking since last night is seeing all the faces this morning. It's like this little kid. He's talking about the absurdity and the madness of the world. This small little boy, I don't know, maybe he's 9 years old, but he has cancer. But he's come up with a way to bring happiness into his life and others by doing a virtual high five. It's so wonderful, virtual high five. But then I thought, everyone, at least I see on this screen, whether we look left or right, that each one of us in our heart, mind, spirit has the motivation and the intent. May each and every one of us have loving kindness, and loving kindness as a blessing. So that means to have happiness. I wish each one of you have happiness and the cause of happiness, and never be separated from that which brings about that happiness in your life. May you have the blessings of compassion, that which brings about harm and distraught and suffering. May it never visit you, and if it does, for it will, may it be ever so brief. It will be like perhaps when you see a piece of lint on your clothing and you just sort of brush it away. May your suffering be like that this day. And then joyousness, sometimes even when we read all the various profound Buddhist texts, the concept of joyousness sometimes is not expressed. So joyousness, to take joy, and it means to take joy in the unfoldment of the happiness and the passing of sadness of others. When someone has recovered from the coronavirus, be joyful. When someone who has not even contracted it, then be joyous. When someone has received their vaccination, oh, so happy. And then someone has a new job, a new house, raise, an unexpected present or whatever it may be. Oh, I'm so happy for you. We rejoice in the good fortune of others. And if we can rejoice in the good fortune of others, then perhaps we can also rejoice and recognize the good fortune that is the blessings within ourselves. And then, even though it says last, equanimity or impartiality, it means we don't just have this motivation and the intent for those whom are close to us, but those who are close that we call loved ones and friends, those whom we may label as, oh, this is my enemy. This is the one who is, even this one we call, no, not my enemy, it's just my karma unfolding. So I really have to thank them. So we rejoice in the one who we call enemy and have loving kindness and compassion for all sentient beings, whether they are close or far or indifferent. Even the smallest little creature like ants going back and forth on the stones in front of my little house. Oh, this is my mother. I wonder how many lifetimes they will go through before they arrive at having human birth with all of its endowments and leisures, etc. Oh, we must bless them. And so it will be as speedy, maybe even in their next life, they can make big, big leap. So really focus on, as it says in the Sojong, is to reestablishment. Damsak, reestablish samya. So samya is our vow. Damsak, the vow, but also more than just a vow, it's a connection. So an unbreakable bond, right? Like the magician pulls the two rings and they separate. I give the musician the rings of Damsak, And no matter how much they pull them apart, they don't separate. So think today I'm reconnecting again as I talk to my acting students, dance students. The important thing is connection, isn't it? Right now, we have connection, even though it is only a very interesting reality. 6 dimensions, 3 dimensions into a 2-dimensional reality, me talking into space as a construct of an entity whose particles and molecules are thrown and flown through space, disassembled through the magic of technology and reassembled on a small screen in front of each and every one of us. But still, isn't the important thing is that the human being is so fascinating that we find a way to connect, a desire of connection. But sometimes the connection is so strong outside that we lose the base conceptuality of the connection within. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Connect to the breath. Connect to the breathing. Connect to the breather. This initial connection, it's like me looking at the weeds growing from the stones as I sit in my small present dwelling, that if I don't up in the roots of those weeds, they will continually come back. In the same way, if we do not go to the root of that which brings about adversity, discomfort, suffering, etc. in our lives and in the lives of others, if we don't go to the root, as the Buddha said, not until you weed out the roots will the weed not grow. So then I must dig deep down within my own earthen existence and remove the roots of the weeds of the samsaric suffering. So then you all know what are those roots and what are that we have to go deep inside. It's so difficult. Our ignorance, our misplaced desire and attachment, and anger. Now we can say there's 5 more, 10 more, 84,000 more kleshas, but they all come down to those primary 3, our ignorance, our attachment, desire, and our anger. I must dig deeper into me, into my own psyche, and recognize that these 3 aspects are in actuality sort of the fertilizer for the beautiful flowers that are already growing that I fail to see. But if I can recognize the true nature of these 3 illusionary mind poisons, then they will change in an instant and come to be that which nourishes the flower within each and every one of us, and that flower that is within me. Take a breath in, please. Breathe out. Whatever your worries or concerns, stress and tension, at least for this short and brief period, take a vacation. Leave it outside your retreat room. Or maybe you say, okay, children, you know how when the children are running around, you go, okay, go outside and play. So I tell my worrisome thoughts, my concerns of the day, please stop running around, go outside and play. As I said earlier, surely do you not want to be in the sun, among the breeze and the clouds, and watching the subtlety of the leaves? They say okay, we'll come back later. And you can say, do that, please. I may not be here. Can you imagine all of your kleshas, all of the children of ignorance and the children of desire and the children of attachment, the children, they go outside to play and then they're outside and go, oh, I'm so tired. Let's go back and bother that guy. And they come back to my seat and they go, what? Where did he go? He was here a minute before. Oh, he just disappeared. We have no more home. Oh, well, I guess we were just a dream of his to begin with. Anyway, poof. My madness for this moment to entertain you, maybe to bring a smile to your face. But as I began, don't take it so serious as you go apace. It will pass like a dream, like a flash of lightning in the sky. It will be gone in an instant before your eye. Take a breath in again, please. Release with an R sound. Ah. A moment of rest, a moment of peace. Don't you deserve to give that to you and to share that with others, this sense of peace? Bring our hands together, please. And we just have the thought. First, we must arouse bodhicitta, enlightened mind, for the benefit of others and self. And with the arousal of the bodhicitta mind, we have the thought, I pay homage to all of the enlightened Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, lineage masters, guru, yogis, all the way down to the present day. Please bless me with your infinite capacity to remove that which brings about suffering in samsara this day. May I be blessed with your knowledge and wisdom. May it grow within me. Like it blossom like a flower. May it open for all to see. And may, as I looked into the sky last night and proclaimed, I am but your instrument. I am but a messenger, a servant. Please make use of me. Yo idea to do because of somebody do your name. And then you just sit for a moment. In that pause, in that space, you're open, receiving that universal grace. Whatever we may be contemplating to accomplish this day, may it come to pass and be ferocious. May it nourish others and ourselves. May it unfold without strife and come to pass. Take a breath in, breathing out. So in the Sojong, again, the time of acknowledgement of omission and admission. So the time to acknowledge that which has been left out, to acknowledge that which has been put in that should not have, and that's which should have been left out that should have. That one restores their faith and trust and devotion and commitment and conviction to Dharma or to truth, to follow the way of truth. Who knows the truth? Our heart knows the truth. Again, like I told you, Zen Master Lee, I don't have to tell you, you know what to do. An innate quality in your heart, when you listen, we know the right way to go and the wrong way to go. Or positive karma, negative karma. They all arise from our own perceptions of either not seeing clearly or to see clearly. So therefore, may we all see clearly. May we be blessed with the opening of our wisdom eye. We can say, with my left eye, to view that which is of Manakaya. With my right eye, I view Sambhavakaya. With my wisdom eye, Dhammakaya. And then all three kayas and wisdoms and knowledge coalesce together in the joining of the three. Breathe in. This day we open and begin to see, as Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche would say, in the moment that we open our eyes and begin to see, we see that there is nothing to see. And in seeing that begins the great seeing. There is no seer. There is no seeing. There is nothing to be seen. Let go. Let be. Breathe in. Breathing out. And then just briefly to state, because some might say, well, I know for some people, this is very much like the Western tradition. These vows, these do's, these don'ts, etc. Even I sometimes in the very beginning, many years ago, oh, this is just like Sunday school. No, it's a different slant. It is not something being imposed from the outside. It is that which we ourselves create from the inside. So you all have taken refuge or about to take refuge. If you weren't in that category, then I don't think you would be here, at least this morning, with as much consistency as you have, which is greatly appreciated. So just to listen. So this day, what is it that we are restoring? Taking ultimate refuge only in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Or as we say, Namo Lama Lakapsocho, Sengye Lakapsocho, Jo Lakapsocho, Gedam Lakapsocho. Do not harm sentient beings. So this day, for this next 2-week period, do not harm even the smallest ant. When you see the spider, oh, big spider, catch it, towel, send it on a journey outside. You cannot stay here, so sorry, but try not to harm. Then, this is an interesting one. Do not associate intimately with those who reject Buddhist teachings. This is sort of an antiquated one and has to be really interpreted. Just because someone does not believe in the same way we do, that doesn't give us permission to ostracize them or speak negatively of them. Again, that would not be a compassionate or loving kind action. But also, if someone is of negative influence, we don't make them our friend per se, because this only eventually leads to trouble. Respect all images of Buddha, even those that we deem as purely made. Regard every letter as the actual jewel of Dharma. Respect all ordained persons as the actual jewel of Sangha. So no matter, we're non-sectarian, we don't care. Nyingma, Sakyapa, I should say Nyingma, Kalupa, Kargyupa, Gulupa, we don't care, right? We're all in the same room, all in the same blessings of the Buddha. Then go for refuge to the three jewels again and again, remembering their good qualities. So when good things happen, don't think, oh, I did this. No, many people aided in the goodness that has come to us. And as a result of our past karma coming to fruition, that we're able to encounter authentic Dharma. Number 8, offer the first portion of whatever is eaten or drunk to the three jewels, remembering their generosity. So you do the prayer to offer the food. So Toma Lame Sege Rinpoche, Kopa Lame Damja Rinpoche, Drumpa Lame Giba Rinpoche, Gebne Kundu Tula Choba. So you do this every time. You eat the breakfast, you make offering, lunch, or dinner, something like that. Then number 9, this requires skillful means. Encourage others to take refuge who may seem to have an interest. We don't, proselytize. We don't try to recruit. Merely be example. And if someone has that karma, they will connect to you because they can see something has settled you, calmed you, and somehow blessed you. And they have a thread of a connection. Again, this connection. And then perhaps you can introduce. Take refuge 6 times a day, 3 times in the day and 3 times at night. So at least you should be practicing with session in the early day and session at the night. So if you can do 1 hour, 2 hours, this is good. 2 hours, you practice 4 hours a day in this sort of semi-retreat. If we're in a closed retreat, then we do maybe 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day of practice. Then you declare every undertaking to the Buddhadharma Sangha. I'm not doing it just for myself, but I do it as an offering to all of the Buddhists. Excuse me. Then the last one, never forsake the 3 jewels, even at the cost of one's life or as a joke. Lama Kaisi would say, even some robber come to you in the subway in New York City and it says, oh, I heard you Buddhist person. I don't like Buddhist person. Then I am going to hurt you unless you renounce your Buddhism. Then you can say, I feel so sorry for you. And before you do that, let me pray for you, because the karma that will ensue as a result of doing harm to me will be beyond what you could even imagine. So do what you must do. Because I will not forsake or give up, but I will respect what you believe in also. So these are the refuge vows that we have taken, and now we seek to restore if one has broken them in some way. Then the Ginyan vows. So all of you or Ginyans or about to be. So Ginyan is the first level. Ginyan, Jetsul, and the last one that'll come to me. There are three categories. Of the one who have the refuge vows, and then there's 33 vows, and then I think for men it's 257 vows. Gelon, I'll say Gelon, okay, Gelon. So Ginyan, Jetsul, and the Gelon. These are three categories. So we are in the category of Ginyan. So you all are Ginyan. We are not monastic. So the monastic, they take a Gelon. Then Getsul and Ginyan is in the middle. This is plenty for where we are at this time in our society. Even just having a Ginyan vows, what are they? Refrain from killing any sentient beings, or even having the desire to bring home. Refrain from taking what is not given, which means we don't steal. Refrain from lying or deceiving others, talking about one's attainment and telling, we'll say, large fish stories, and not saying at the end, perhaps just joking. Refrain from partaking of intoxicants or that which removes us, I'm rewriting this, or removes us from the recognition of the intrinsic enlightened nature. Refrain from engaging in inappropriate physical activities that are harmful to you or to someone else. So those are the Ginyan vows one should work on keeping. Then I won't go into too many, the 10 non-virtuous actions. Then there are the 10 virtuous actions. Then this part we should know, though, what is it that constitutes the breaking of the samya? There are 5 factors. What is your motivation? Let's say, as simple as you see some insect is crawling. You see the insect, You think, I don't like this insect. Then I'm going to harm this insect. Wow. Oh, so the motivation arose from one's own ignorance, attachment, desire, and anger. Then you actually engaged in the action. Okay, now you put the next peg in. You are conscious. You're conscious of the action that you have done. It wasn't like you're out in the woods on a camping trip or walking and you feel something on your neck. Oh no. I didn't mean to do it. It was just a reaction. So you bless. So this is different in terms of the ramification of the karma. And then the next one is the result of the action. What you intended to do based on that motivation was accomplished. And the last one, I'm glad I did it. Oh, now you get in trouble. So these are the basic refuge vows, Ginyan vows. Then, as I said, the 10 non-virtuous and the 10 virtuous, which you can go and read this. Maybe you have this little text, I don't know. But it's good to read through to see, am I following, at least at that level, of what I'm professing to be. Take a breath in, please. Breathing out. Just rest again for a moment. And from that state of inner rest and peace and openness arises Guru Rinpoche, who is inseparable from our teacher now, is about to go into 100-day retreat again. I just got his schedule, which I won't do 100 days again, but we'll see how things go as we proceed through the summer. But anyway, we recognize that Guru Rinpoche is the embodiment of all our various teachers and enlightened beings. And so we just say, most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Is the Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Is the Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. 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 Lama Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo, Lagabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo. Lama Lagabzujo, single Lagabzujo, Jola Gabzujo. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings or infinite, I vow to liberate them. Delusions or inexhaustible, I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless, I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable, I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless, I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible, I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless, I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable, I vow to embody it. So to invoke the blessings of the Bodhisattvas to bring about auspicious undertakings, auspicious outcomes of your undertakings. Dorje, Dorje, Zonda, Zumba, Ye, Zange, Doda, Gedon, Babezo, Gunla, Tazo, Dajo, Dajezo, Dode, Yaba, Zodo, Dodo, Jambar, Gabar, Gedra, Bada, Bar, Gondar, Daje, Dabaje, Dubo, Daba, Zabra, Bada, Senje, Dabe, Gando, Dabe, Geje, Zeba, Zera, Bada, De, Senze, Debe, Daje, Bewa, Yewa, Jeba, Gela, Zabra, Lu, Shamba, Zuno, Laude, Doje, Jenre, Jenwa, Gumbo, Jambe, Ba, Soye, Nembo, Demba, Namba, Namga, Nembo, Bado, Londo, Zo, Ba, Doje, Baga, Do, Nobu, Tawa, Dede, Nama, Ye, Taze, Nana, Baje, Baje, Jo, Jenja, Simba, Yeva, Zaka, Lo, Renje, Doje, 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 Na, Dunjum, Banjo, Rama, Rama, Nina, Bunjum, Pari, Ru, Nino, Tanze, Mondo, De, Renje, Doje, 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 Jen, Doje, Dawa, Jen, Yema, Jizu, Jumbo, Jembe, Babe, We, Taje, Lama, Jula, Taza, Lo, Zamba, Jumbo, Tenjo, Jebe, Mido, Dunda, Gabo, Dunjo, Bagye, Bondo, Nuba, Peto, Zan, Nando, Zede, Zode, Gudo, Doje, Nando, Dondo, Doje, Jen, Barwa, Dudu, Doje, Kajun, Jen, Zazun, Nidu, Gede, Taje, Jinde, Nuwa, Tula, Tasa, Tatu, Nede, Tawa, Zambula, Geda, Jawa, Jawa, Ye, Dondo, Baba, Zendo, Yeje, Dru, Taje, Dele, Munzo, Zumba, Daju, Denje, Jawa, Zumbula, Yen, Jawa, Zumba, Gondone, Dunda, Baba, Zendo, Yeje, Dru, Taje, Dele, Munzo, Zumba, Daju, Denje, Jawa, Zumbula, Yen, Jawa, Jawa, Gondone, Dunda, Baba, Zendo, Yeje, Dru, Taje, Dele, Munzo, Zumba, Zonam Jele Gele John Dejon Tete Bezon Gula Gombo Kanye Pajan Jempo Jigezon Gowa Dabda Zamba Ye Zange Donage Dona Jenjo Nebo Jigeba Daba Dane Gabzo Jizera Nanze Danze Bezon Bezenjo Jondoda Sange Dondo Negede Zombe Chanta Zange Do Jesse Nanga Namba Do Wajeze Negova Geze Doje Nego Ne Dowe Daga Sawazo Jonam Jele Gele Jon Dejon Zeze Jebe Son Gola Gombo Ganyan Ba Jenjum Jembo Dege Dowa Dada Samba Ye Zange Todan Gedola Jenja Nebo Jige Ba Daba Dane Gepsuji Jira Nenze Danjebe Sombe Jenje Dondo Da Zange Dondo Nege De Sombe Jenja Zange Do Jesse Nanga Namba Dova, Jesse Neguba, Jesse Dode, Nego, Netova, Delgasa Waso. Jo Nam Jelege, Jo Dejo, Sete, Zongula, Gumbo, Ganepa, Junjon Jumbo, Jigger, Zondova, Zamba, Sange, Todan, Gidona, Junjon Nipo, Jigger, Bada, Bada, Neka, Jizera, Najan, Jebe, Zombe, Jenja, Sange, Dondo, Negate, Zombe, Jenja, Zumge, Jesse, Nanga, Namba, Dova, Jesse, Nego, Jesse, Dorje, Nego, Nedova, all phenomena arise from their causes. Their causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught thus by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I recognize and reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the misery, suffering, and the causality of ignorance, desire, misplaced attachment, and anger in this world through loving kindness and compassion. Jage Donje, Jage Renjan, Jage Munje, Donye, Donjamba, Jage Lundo, Jowa, Jebe, Guzake, Gobo, Chula, Tatsa, Go, Tayata, Omane, Mane, Mahamana, yes, Oha. Tayato, Mane, Mane, Mahamana, Yesoha, Tayato, Mane, Mane, Mahamana, Yesoha. Tayato, Mane, Mane, Mahamana, Yesoha, Tayato, Mane, Mane, Mahamana, Yesoha. Tayato mene mene mahamana yesua, tayato mene mene mahamana yesua. Tayato mene mene mahamana yesua, mene mene yesua, mene mene mahamana yesua. Uzo mene mene mahamana yesua, mene mene yesua, mene mene mahamana yesua, mene mene yesua, mene mene. Uzo mene mene mahamana yesua, mene 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 yesua, mene mene. So many, 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 so many, many, so many, many, so Mane mane mahamana yoso mane mane mahamana yoso mane mane mahamana mane mane so mane mane so mane so mane mane so mane mane so mane Zomane mane 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 mahamana yoso mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yoso mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yoso mane mane mahamana yoso mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yoso mane mane mahamana yoso mane mane Zomane mane zomane mane zomane zomane mane mahamana yoso. Receiving the blessings of self and others, visualizing in our heart space lotus, moon disk, and they are fashioned out of crystalline, a crystal. The structure within is radiant light, the radiant light of loving kindness and compassion, the radiant light of our merit, our blessings, our fortune, and our happiness going out. So to give out first. And when you breathe in, taking like bluish black smoke into that aura, and what are we taking in? Not that they were just taking, it was taking the suffering. You're taking the suffering today, it's back tomorrow. You take it tomorrow, it's back the next day. So again, as I said about the weed, you must go to the root. To absorb the bluish black smoke of ignorance and desire, attachment and anger and hatred and greed and prejudice and arrogance and pride and stupidity, etc. This bluish black smoke, draw in. And as you breathe out, the light of the opposite spans the totality of space. Practice this, Tonglen. In your mind's eye, we visualize that our intention has been accomplished. As we breathe out like water into water, the essence of the Buddha's mind and the essence of our mind at its primordial ground level, one and the same. To recognize doesn't mean to conceptualize. Just rest in the present moment wakefulness. Breathing out, again, I saw this little quote from the Buddha again. In having realized supreme enlightenment, I realized that I had recognized nothing at all. Therefore, it was the supreme enlightenment. Lama and take a breath in, relax for just a little bit. Teachings, again, something I read that may inspire your aspiration. And this is from Urgyen Rinpoche, one of my favorite pictures of him holding up a simple flower. The importance of aspiration. This is part one. I'll read the other part tomorrow night. To make noble wishes and aspirations in combination with our good actions is incredibly important. Otherwise, the result of positive karma will not ripen in the right way. So Rinpoche is telling us straight away, proper motivation and proper intention must go hand in hand that forges our actions that are directed toward being of benefit to all sentient beings. Whenever one does virtuous actions or acts, one should always form the wish, may this be used toward complete enlightenment. May I become the great guide, like the captain of a ship that can sail all sentient beings across to the other side. And may I quickly obtain complete enlightenment, and having obtained the state of a Buddha, may I guide all sentient beings to liberation and the awakened state itself. That kind of aspiration is incredibly precious and makes the difference between whether good karma ripens as fleeting pleasure or whether it is used to lead toward liberation and enlightenment. Take the example of many human beings in this world. A human rebirth is the result of wholesome karmic actions. But very few humans have the interest in a spiritual practice. This is because most do not combine their good actions with noble wishes and aspirations. On the other hand, some people travel to Nepal from far away countries. I remember Rinpoche I was there. He was talking to us. They are not forced to come to Nagi Gampa. I spent many years going back and forth to Nagi Gampa, in particular, or even to the east. Why did they spend all of this money and travel this long, long distance with so many difficulties? It is because their past good karma was combined with pure aspirations. It is the force of those aspirations that bring them all the way to receive teachings. Otherwise, there would be no point in coming here. It's just a big hassle. So you see the difference between the incredible, enormous number of human beings in this world and the tiny handful who actually use this human existence to pursue the spiritual path. It says, the latter are as few as stars in the morning sky. So to Guru Rinpoche, to Guru Rinpoche, Gyawaje, Nudu, Kansusumba, Dujune, Do, and Nudupa, Dine Shula Kubaso. So again, these are the things, as many of us in those early years would travel back and forth to spend time with Tugu Urgyen Rinpoche. There's another picture I saw on this social media. Choling Rinpoche, Choginima Rinpoche, Jogni Rinpoche, Pacha Rinpoche, and Minja Rinpoche. So I looked at these pictures and I went, oh my goodness. I had the blessings and the good fortune to be in the midst of the 5 offsprings, one way or another, of Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche, along with being a student to Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. Wow, it was so humbling. My karma, what did I do? Oh my goodness. I better keep up the good work so it can happen again. So anyway, I hope this makes some sense. And just to take a little bit more time, something that I have been contemplating that is a sticking point for a lot of people, especially when it's misinterpreted. Emptiness. The hardest concepts to understand, and I think in the Buddhist tradition, it must be contemplated, understood, is emptiness, karma, and rebirth. These 3 can be confusing and misleading. Probably going back in the 70s. Some of you, most of you, not even born. So I found one of the earlier texts by His Holiness the Dalai Lama called Opening the Wisdom Eye. It's still in print, I think. But there was a section on in it, and again, I speak very poorly of it, but maybe it'll be of some help. It says the two truths, but really we could say there are four truths, all right? We're not talking about the four noble enlightened truths. We're talking about the truth of the reality of reality, or I should say, relative truth, then relative truth. Then there's relative emptiness truth, and then there's the truth of emptiness. Briefly, relative, this is Dorje. Relative, Dorje. We don't make any definitions or deconstructions or any deeper understanding, relative. But then we could say, so relative. Then we can say, oh, this is relative. Relative in relationship to what? In the relative, we don't make any association, but in relative, in reference to what? This is a Dorje in relationship to this is a drill bill. So this is two different objects. Then we can go to the next truth, relative emptiness. It is relatively empty due to cause, circumstances, and conditions. Cause, circumstances, and conditions that this particular object now comes into being. And its designator, that which is used to designate its existence at a relative emptiness, is called Dorje. But ultimate reality, so the fourth truth is the intrinsic emptiness of this Dorje. But to say that this Dorje relatively is empty and therefore does not exist would be a false way. That is what leads us into attachment to two things: materialism or nihilism. And there are many books and texts and teachings enormous on this subject, which I am very ignorant of. But if you fall into attachment to materialism, that means no matter what, this object will always exist. It's not true. But to say nihilism, that this object does not exist because of its intrinsic nature of emptiness due to cause, circumstances, and conditions, does not exist, is also false. So we have to embrace two aspects: the relativeness of the phenomena coming into being, and the ultimate emptiness of that phenomena coming into being, with the understanding that if it is not intrinsically empty, it cannot come into being. And the fact that it is intrinsically empty, it can come into being. The mistake then becomes nothing matters because everything is empty. That's when the Zen master hits you. I think I told you once, someone was going on and on about nothing has any meaning. And I was in Denver doing this in the more Shaolin way. And this one student was going on and wanted to enter in debate. So I took my shoe off and I threw it at him. Why you do that? Why you respond if everything is empty? There was nothing thrown. There was no experience of the throwing, and there was no one to be thrown at. And then I just laughed crazily because they understood. Because what they were saying had not been completely realized or apprehended. So in the Buddhist tradition, we hear constantly about the suffering of samsara, blah, 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 and the emptiness of that which is arising. We go, if that is the case, then it's hopeless. And Rinpoche would talk about this. It's hopeless. There's nothing we can do. But that's not the case. That through our understanding of the intrinsic quality of emptiness, coupled with karma, our actions, as Rinpoche just said, it is our actions that take us up or take us down. And the caveat to those actions must be do we have the proper motivation and the proper intent? With the proper motivation and the intent, which governs our actions and brings about our karma, which brings about our realities, again, we go up or down. So just because when we hear that all phenomena intrinsically is empty, that does not negate it coming into being and either the repercussions, reactions, or responses that we have in relationship to it. Knowing that the intrinsic nature of all phenomena is intrinsically empty gives us a tool in order to respond with clarity and a knowledge and wisdom to the phenomena arising, recognizing its intrinsic dream-like nature, but that does not necessarily negate the dream. We still have to either react or respond to that which is perceived. But doesn't it alter the perception of our actions if we know that which is being perceived is just a dream? But that doesn't negate me having to respond or react to that which is arising within the dream, but it does alter the dream, doesn't it? So I want you to contemplate these 4 truths. A lot of times you can look up, just Google 2 truths. It may add the relative in the relative emptiness, as opposed to just the relative and the emptiness. The relative and the emptiness go hand in hand. You cannot negate one and accept the other, or accept one and negate the other. It is the razor's edge that Lama Rinpoche says we know how to walk on. It may be empty in your high view, like the flight of the vulture comes through, but your actions must be like fine sifted barley flour. We must pay attention. And by fusing those 2 together, we have a method, skillful means to go forward and navigate through the dreamlike structure of our own samsaric creation. Don't you think? So please contemplate, not with fixity to materialism or nihilism. We're in a flux of fluidity, being able to navigate through the sea of samsara with the knowingness of the intrinsic nature of that which is arising, we call phenomena or our reality. Now, this continues to require discussion and contemplation and meditation. It's like, imagine you are sitting watching the dream unfold with no attachment. But that doesn't negate the unfolding of the dream. But it does change how we view the dreamer, the dreaming, and that which is dreamed. Just an illusion. But like the fool, going back to that, living in the dream, I am willing to play and laugh at the absurdity of its own unfoldment. And who is the creator of that? That's why I am the fool, because it is my dream, which I am living in. Awaken, wake up, let go and let be, and dream and be free. My mind says to me, breathe in, breathing out, rest for a moment, recognize, have peace in your heart. All that I perceive is my own construct. It is a dream. Its reality is only due to its cause, circumstances, and conditions which in themselves are empty. But they appear due to causality, and I perceive the resultant aspect. Recognize, let go. Letting go doesn't mean all of a sudden you're happy, sad, angry, whatever it may, whatever comes. It only means that that which is being perceived through the senses, intrinsically empty. So you let go and remain in the dream, stay in the boat. You know the song, my favorite song from my childhood, rowing the boat freely because the life is just a dream. How should I do it? Merrily, which transforms into joyously. Joyously row your boat in our own dream-like creation and see it for what it is and awaken. Breathe in. Breathe out, and in an instant from the seed Surubu Hung sitting on a lotus, a sun disk, and a moon is the 5-pronged Dorje. And surrounding the Guru Rinpoche is all of the entourage of the Dzogchen. Urgyen Samten Guru Bhama Ziti Urgyen Bhama Gesa Dongula Jazen Joji Guru Ne Bhama June Tatsu Guru Nando Mabu Gegi Tatsu Dadruki Chenji Laje Tatsu Guru Bhama Ziti Urgyen Juji Bema Geza Don Pula Jazen Joji Gudu Bema June Zazu Dragudu Gando Mambugu Gegi Zazu Dadrugi Chenji Laje Zazu Guru Bema Zede. Ma wo zhu zhu ge yan ge zang han zhu zhu nie zhu zhong ge bia me pe ga zhu zhu lu zhu zhu wa zhen bu du ma ga zhen do du je du re na ma zhu ge gu la zu wa de Urgyen be ma zhen ne la zu wa de de zhen du ge zhong be zhen ya zu zhong zhu nian da nian de ye 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 ge zhen zhu wa zhe pe gu du je zhe zhe ne zu 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 de na ma lu zu zu gu la zu wa de Urgyen be ma zhen ne la zu wa de be zhe den de den be zhen ga zu du je zhen gu zu wei de la zhan gan lan ge du de ye don de de da ma zu da da dan zo me da ma zu be gu la zu wa de Urgyen be ma zhen ne la zu wa Dozam gera jira jen bema geta ninda juju ta juju ta juju ta juju kada lama nala zuwa de zamde zembe dojo de ta dojo nondo nombe doya ya na ro dombe dozonge Kode kogo zobe lonjemba dreme ozo jela zuwa de zejen de dola de Greme ozo yende dojo zo oza nonje namge namjo ba cheme tembe chela so ade Duzun konye pema jenye ge dojo dugo gozo gozo sange dende Gunjo zembe la so ade women jogi yinge pota dojo sange koje kurogi Renzem gogo gundo zunze be zoe nama namla so ade Ramen jogi yogi bodando dozo zamge goji goge Ranzam gogo gozo danze bazo we lame shela zoade Yowa gundo yanda lama dan jome jogi bala dojo zen sata tate ranjo nezo ne Goji jinji go bang ozo suma uma Cleansing subtle body. Same side. Then switch. both. Om a yi u re ve le ve u a na na ka ga 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 za 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 nya da 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 na da da na ba 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 ma ya wa la wa sha ga za re sha o me da ma hi do bra ba wa hi do da ga da ha ya wa da da jin sa yu no ro wa hi ma ne ne ma sa ma na so Zebadra Samaya Sa Om Ritsa Ramane Bhavada Yesoha Zebadra Samaya Sa Umbadra Hambrita Kundele Hana Hana Ombe Ranjani de Wonde Wuzo Dube Namadan Nizo Bebe Gonje Joge Gabo Dojonjo Duze Garya Midza Wa Bebe Gurwa Gon Gidnam Ga Baja Sama Za Dorje Senpai and Anima is before you or in singularity. Sangye Donzanzoge Jonala, Janjo Badu, Dani Gapsuji, Daji Zenzoge Bezo Nange, Jola, Benza, Zenge Jobajo. Sange Dodanzoge Jonala, Janjo Badu, Dani Gapsuji, Daji Zenzoge Bezo Nange, Jola, Benza, Zenge Jobajo. Sange Dodanzoge Jonala, Janjo Badu, Dani Gapsuji. Daji Zenzoge Pezo Nange Jola Benze Zenge Joba Zange Doda Zoge Jonama Janjo Badu Dani Gabzuji Daji Zenzoge Pezo Nange Jola Benze Zenge Joba Joza Om Bamo Zoje Narama Temba Baza Mahazui Harago Dene Doje Torwa Lurdu Onzu arbo zudo zaba dame zobe zudo no jome dende dende remboje ninye shen kejerwe nando doba dodo dorwa no bonzo zobo dacha kanzo jembo do oma Tume pade sapari la rarba zatzama za zata na pate che tabala laja Namo sabada daga doba yumishu mugube sabata tomogete sapara namenda soha Namo sabada daga doba yumishu mugube sabata tomogete sapara namenda kama soha Namo sabada daga doba yumishu mugube sabate sapara namenda kama soha da 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 de da do And to acknowledge and liberate the Rutas, Nagas, Rakshas, meaning all those things that oppose or deter or stand in the way of our truly recognizing and being of benefit to all sentient beings. Sabamegene Nomo Zabata Dabayo Miju Mugude Sabamagete Saparana Iram Grenagam Guriana Iram Bavinda Taye Soha Sabamegene Nomo Zabata Dabayo Miju Mugude Sabar Tata Mugate Saparana Iram Grenam Gurihana Iram Bavinda Taye Soha Sabamegene Nomo Zabata Dabayo Miju Mugude Sabata Mogete Saparana, Iranam Gorihana, Iran Balenda, so. Senchen Samje Jowa Dan, Jowa Gonda, Jowa Guji, Tumyanda, Dogeri, Gonda, Jowa Guji, Donge me beden baden badan, Betewa Guji, Nidan, Dewa, Nesebe Mela, Nemba Guji. Senchen Samje Jowa Dan, Jowa Gonda, Jowa Guji, Tumyanda, Dogeri, Gonda, Jowa Guji, Donge me beden baden badan, Betewa Guji. Senjanda Juwadan, Juwagudan, Juwaguji, Tunyadan, Tugeri, Gudan, Juwaguji, Tunge, maybe Dembada, Medewa, Guji, Nidanda, Dewan and the Zebemela, Nemba, Uma, Uma, Mandala. Saje, Boje, Jojo, Mejo, Drum, River, Lindsay, Nide, Zimbagi, Singers in the middle of a year, Dorian and the Zindadu, Bajo, Idon, and the Mandrola, Nida, Daya, Saje, Boje, Jojo, Mejo, Drum, River, Lindsay, Nide, Zimbagi, Singers in the middle of a year, Dorian and the Zindadu, Bajo, Idon, and the Mandrola, Nida, Daya, Saje Boje Jojo Medo Ram River Zenede Zimbagi, Sengis in the Medo Buway, Togan Sita to Bajo, in a random Mandrula, Neda Taya, Zumbadu Zata Samaya, Manuvalaya, Badu Zatu Zenova, Nova, Tudogaya Nova, Tudogaya Nova, Narado Guru, Samaya Zadua Umbadu Zada Samaya Manobadaya Badu Badu Dedu Navoa Dudogaya Navoa Dudogaya Navoa Amaratu Navoa Sedum Sirum Guru Bhagavan Samaya Sadhu. Again, you visualize that Dorje Sempa, a little bit different from the Indra. And we go Bhadra Samaya Za, then Dorje Sempa, the Yam Yam, or singularity appears. In the head of Dorje Sempa is Chamchak Heraka, and the 52 wrathful entities, deities. In the heart of Dorje Sampa is Kondozompo, the 48 peaceful aspects. In the heart of each one of the main 52 and 48, sitting on a lotus and the sun and moon disk, is the seed syllable Ah, radiating the wrathful, compassionate nature that dispels all negativities. And in the heart, they are in the Kondozompo, again, in the same way resting, is the R, again, radiating the blessings of peaceful, compassionate nature that removes all various impurities. Then we should also visualize that we are receiving these two aspects, the two aspects that are twofold in their benefit. That which benefits, I would say, benefits others and then benefits self. So to cleanse, to purify, and again, to restore all of the broken samya or damsik at this time. So we said Bhadra Samaya Za. Adani Dhamma Tivuru Tadava Nenevu Une Lama Dorje Zen Kaza Kunzo Jogaru Dorje Zen Nima Jula Tato Jeba Jon Jodon Dabo Drula Sak Jije Zola Banu Do do dawa gende on tamagegu de badrage duru veria ro do de zanja zenge dawa ta da zanja zenge da da de do de do de do de ma la ta wa de Bhadra Samaya Sa Dum Bhadra Zata Samaya Manokavaya Bhadra Zata Dinova Didu Mevoa Sudogaya Mevoa Sudogaya Mevoa Anarada Mevoa Sava Siddhi Mevoa Tume Zedum Zirin Guru Hum Bhagavan Savada Bhadra Manipusavadu Samaya Zatua Bhadra Zata Samaya Manokavaya Bhadra Zata Dinova Didu Mevoa Sudogaya Mevoa Sudogaya Mevoa Anarada Mevoa Sava Siddhi Mevoa Tume Zedum Zirin Guru Hum Bhagavan Savada Bhadra Manipusavadu Samaya Satua Badu Zadu Samaya Manu Badu Zadu Denova Dudu Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Soba Siri Mabaya Zara Zudume Zedum Zirin Guru Hum Bhagavan Sara Dada Badra Manemazo Banzeba Samaya Satua Badu Zadu Samaya Manu Bhavaya Badu Zadu Denova Dudu Sudogaya Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Soba Ziri Mabaya Zara Damazume Zedum Zirin Guru Hum Bhagavan Sara Dada Gada Badra Manemazo Banzeba Samaya Satua Zumbadra Zadu Samaya Manu Bhavaya Badru Zadu Denova Dudu Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Subogaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Soba Ziri Mabaya Zedum Zedum Zirin Guru Hum Bhagavan Savada Gadu Badra Manemazo Samaya Satu Zumbadru Zadu Samaya Manu Bhavaya Badru Zadu Denova Dedu Mabua, Sudogaya Mabua, Subogaya Mabua, Anaratu Mabua, Sova Ziri Mabaya Zara Zedum Zirim Guru Bhagavan Sada da da ga da baru na ne muzo na de ba na sama yo da do wa baru za do sama ya na da ya na sudo ga ya na bo wa sudo ga ya na bo wa ana ra da na bo wa zo wa de ne ba ya da da na do ne se do se do ho ha 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 ho ba ba sada da da ga da baru na ne muzo na de ba na sama ya sudo wa baru za do sama ya na baru za do de no ba de bo wa sudo ga ya na bo wa sudo ga ya Sojong Zerung Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Soga Da Paramani Samaya Badru Zadu Samaya Manu Badaya Badru Zadu Denova Duva Sudokaya Nova Sudo Radu Nova Soga Zere Mebea de Zara Mazutun Zerung Guru Hong Ha Sada da da ga da badru manen buzo and debo na sama yo da do wa do badru za do sama yo na do ga ya badru de do 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 go wa zo do ga yo na go wa zo go ga yo na go wa na do do wa so ba se de me be ya zo ro ga ma zo do me ze do ze do na go ba go sada da da ga da badru manen buzo and debo na sama yo za do wa badru za do Manu Balaya Badru Zaru Denova de Nagoa Zudo Gayo Nagoa Zudo Gayo Nagoa Narado Nagoa Zova Zedem Zidum Guru Hum Ha Bhagavan Savara Samaya Sadua Badru Zadu Samaya Mano Badaya Badru Zadu Denova de Nagoa Zudo Gayo Nagoa Well, another Nago was over Zidem Sedum Zedum Guru Hum Sada da 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 Badru Mane Muzo and the Boana Samaya Sadua Badru Zadu Zamaya Mano Badaya Badru Zadu Denova Nagoa Sudogaya Nagoa Sudogaya Anaradu Nagoa Zova Zide Mebrea to Zara Namazu Sedum Guru Hum Sada da da ga da badru mane muzo mane bo na samaya sadua dum badru zadu samaya mano badru zadu de no ba de no bo zadu ga ya no bo zadu ga ya no bo zava zire me bria zara gamba zadu me setum sirum guru hum ha sada da da ga da badru mane muzo mane bo na samaya sadua badru zadu samaya mano badru zadu do na bo azudo ga yo na bo azudo ga yo na bo anara do na bo azudo zere me ga yo de zara ga ma sudum zerum guru hung ha 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 ho ba ba sa wa da da ga da ba dru na ne mo do de bo na ha sa na yo do wa rum ba mano ba la ya ba dru za do de na ba de na bo azudo ga yo na bo azudo ga yo na bo anara do na bo so wa zere me ga yo de zara ga ma zudo me sudum zerum guru hung ha ha ho ba ba Sada da da ga da ba do na ne muzo ben de bo na sama yo do wa dum ba do za do sama yo ba do ba do za do de no ba de no bo wa su do ga yo no bo wa su do ga yo no bo wa na ra do no bo wa so wa ze de me bre yo do za do ga ma do me se dum si dum do na ha ha Sada da da ga do ba do na ne muzo ben de bo na sama yo do wa dum ba do za do sama yo na ba do yo ba do za do de no no bo wa zo do ga yo no bo wa zo do ga yo no bo wa na ra do no bo wa so wa ze de me bre ya zo do lo me ze dum zirum guru hung ha 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 o bhagavan so wa da 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 ba re na ne zo me de bo wa na ma yo za do wa dum ba do za do za ma ya ma no ba ba ya ba do za do ne no ba de no bo wa zo do ga yo no bo wa zo do ga yo no bo wa na ra do no bo wa so wa ze de me bre ya zo za do ga ma zo do me de zirum guru hung ha ha o Sada da da ga da ba du na ne zo na zo ba na ha zo na yo zo do wa ba do za do na ya na no ba ya ba do za do ma bo wa zo do ga ya ma bo wa zo do ga ya ma bo wa na ra do na bo wa so ba zi ne be ya zo za ga ba zo so dum zi rum guru hum ha ho ba ga wa so ba da da ga da ba do na ne zo na zo ba wa na so ma yo zo do wa ba do za do za ma ya ma no ba ya ba do za do ne no ba de do bo wa Sudogaya Mabua, Zogaya Mabua, Anarado Mabua, Zogazine, Nebrea, Zara Lama Zudone, Sedum Zirum Guru Hum, Ha Ha Ha, Samaya Satu Zumbadru Zadu Umbadru Zadu Zumbadru Zadu Zumbadru Zadu Zumbadru Zadu Umbadru 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 Zadu Zumbadru Zadu Umbadru 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 Zadu I Reve Lede Oa Taga Tanga Tata Tanya Tata Tana Tata Tana Baba Baba Yawala Washa Badu Badu Samaya Manubaya Badu Badu Denova Honorable Magua Lower Zirinevega Samaya Sadua Ume Dama Hidu Balava Hidu Bagataya Watadinda Yunaroa Hibanema Samana Then you should imagine that the four dakas or the bikinis, they have the Amrita, they offer the Radna, and they offer the lamp, and they offer the mandala, Puma, and they offer the lamp. They're all standing, making offerings to the enlightened ones for the benefit of all sentient beings. Brief fulfillment prayer. Lama Yidan Lazon Dojola Rajan Joje Yenge Reba Yeje Mola Tande Saye Donjo Jembara Amreta Yeje Donjo Jebabo Nadan Bande Tumatam Donje Jeba Jobabu Gunwa Dunye Kanyenta Jimmy Rata Bande Tuba Suje Tomba Jowa Bewoto Zojen Geje Jaga Tobaku Alala Deje Geba Se You can visualize many lights, many candles, stars and suns and universes you offer. Namge dadu daye jen pambe jendun dunjun de pama juju jen madu ba jenje jube chila jen ba Badu Zadu Zamaya Manuvalaya Badu Zadu Denova Dududududuva Sugaya Magua Sugaya Magua Naradu Magua Varada Varumane Magula Bova Maha Samaya Satu Samapala Namo Guru Be Namo Guru Be Namo Guru Be Shri Denza Heraka Bude Jo Dene Bajen Dame Randanga Dube Toje Gondu Sedoje Damze je 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 me dutse dren namge namge toge do 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 ze ah ya Lama was If you don't have long life and you don't have all the various auspicious accoutrements to achieve your desires, then how can you truly be of benefit to all sentient beings? So like the great masters of the past who received these blessings and accomplished that what they intended to do based on their motivation, may it also occur for you. Sri 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 Nama Tanye Tanye Tenjo Tama Megun Dada Jinetu Dadan Wanu Dowe Bajisa Bema Juna Nendo Dwada Dadun Gabo Zuda Dwa Ne Zowa Tabzo Gajen Baje So Jenje Bajen Jome No So Mama Rene Zowa Dai Guru Bema Tora Bunda Jana Anna Siddhi Sri Umarani Zowa Dai Guru Bema Doya Bunda Jana Anya Siddhi Sri Sri Mama Rene Zowa Dai Guru Bema Doya Bunda Jana Anya Siddhi Sri Badu Zaba Zamaya, Manobalaya, Badu Zaba Denova, Dedu Nabova, Sudogaya Nabova, Subagaya Nabova, Anaradu Nabova, Sawaziri, Nebrega, Nobama Zudane, Vedum Vedum Guru, whom ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawada, Samaya, Zaduarum, Badu Zadu Zamaya, Manobalaya, Sudogaya Nabova, Anaradu Nabova, Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Buddhadharma Manbo Gege Zatsu Dadu Ge Dorje Zatsu Guru Pema Sede Hong Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Dazen Doji Guru Ne Pema June Zatsu Buddhadharma Manbo Gege Zatsu Dadu Ge Jenje Loje Zatsu Guru Pema Sede Hong Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa the ginger jigo june, bema june, that's what you put to Gandoma Boga Gaggy, that's what that druggy. Ginger loges, that's so good, Bema said, Uma Badza Guru, Bema Jozenza, Badra Samaya, Za. Uma Badza Guru, Bema City, Uma Badza Guru, Bema City, Uma Bada Guru Bama Zeti Uma Bada Guru Bama Zeti Uma Bada Guru Bama Zeti Zuma Bada Guru Bama Zeti Uma Zeti Uma Bada Bama Zeti Zeti Uma Bada Bama Zeti Uma Bada Uma Bada Zeti Guru Om Bhadra Zada Zamaya Manovalaya Dudogaya Nagua, Dudogaya Nagua, Narada Nagua, Davadiri Nagaya, Zagarada Madhukane, Zirindirin Guru, Daradagada Vaduna Nenduvinda Govana, Samaya, Datu, Sunsun Jala, Wanshi Gansoto, the Meron, Zumizo, Lojo Wanjo, Jumajan, Neshi, Yajin Doge, La Meran Shata, Rest in the recognition. Relative, empty. Relative is empty. Relative ultimate is empty. And ultimate emptiness, all is emptiness. Whatever appears is like a dream. Has no substance in and of itself or nothing in between. Let go, rest. The Rinpoche says, give up and do not cling. out. Recognize the magicians, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. They are the false perceivers of a reality in which we create, not recognizing the dream-like state. Awaken this very moment and see that there is nothing to see, nothing to apprehend, to chase away, or to grasp after. In essence, we are already free. If you think, oh, this is not it, this is only thinking. And if you're thinking, this is not it, again, only thinking. I cannot arise to the level of Bodhisattva, and who am I to think that the essence of this mind is Buddha? This is also thinking, isn't it? Gold chain, lead chain is still bound and enslaved by chains. Let go. Rinpoche said, don't cling. Master Gaelic said, all is impermanent. So why cling to that which is impermanent? Then I leave you today with the silly song. Perhaps later on this evening, you will hear yourself say, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. It is gone like that. Okay, I think time for me to go. Oh, I still have 2 minutes. See, I'm like Japan, German train. Da, da, da. Sometimes early, sometimes late. But the train in Japan is always on time. So anyway, enjoy the rest of this day. I hope you have oh, you must take the time and listen to the song of the birds. Oh, I have to entertain you just one little moment. I was watching one of these nature programs, and you should Google the geometrical design of the blowfish. This fish makes the most fantastic, it creates a mandala. You have to watch it, okay? Google geometrical designs of the blowfish. And this blowfish creates a mandala, a fish. It's pretty amazing. Once you see it, you will have to go, wow, how did that occur? It's one of the rarest creatures in nature that creates this type of geometrical design. So maybe you'll be entertained and watch it today. And obviously, Sir Attenborough, I cannot imitate his voice just yet, Sir Attenborough, but such a captivating storyteller. So I want to emulate Laurence Olivier, Attenborough, James Earl Jones. I still have a way to go. Anyway, I think you'll find this entertaining. May your life be a mandala of happiness and joy and harmony and the peace and the kindness and compassion, basic goodness. Enjoy the rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again, enjoy, laugh, be the fool sitting on the hill,